All right, here's what we're going to learn in today's lesson. By the end of today, you're going to know what all of this means and how you can use it to take your bass playing to the next level. Stick around.
Hi, my name's Reese. One of my subscribers asked me, as a bassist learning and practicing at home, I can't even comprehend where to start with music theory. I can learn playing songs from tabs, but that's it. If I get a song and know the chords, I can also play that, but I have no idea how to progress further. How can I know what other things I can play other than the root notes and octaves? I'm going to share with you kind of a music theory secret, well, not a secret, but the music theory element which takes you from kind of an intermediate player to an advanced player, in my opinion. That's learning about the modes. A lot of videos on YouTube do talk about modes already, but I think this is the best way of teaching them applied to bass guitar, like what you can actually do with them. You know, it's not just some textbook knowledge, it actually does have real application. So all you need to know for this lesson going into it is a major scale and a minor scale. I'm going to teach both of those to you right now on the C. So if I pick up my bass, okay, we're on A3 for C, so A sharp, B, C right here, and we're going to play 3, 5, 2, 3, 5, 2, 4, 5. Okay, so A string 3, 5, D string 2, 3, 5, G string 2, 4, 5. Okay, most common scale in the world, really important, but you know it. Okay, it actually has a Greek name, which is Ionian. Please remember that. We're going to talk about it later. The C minor scale is very similar. So we go onto the A string, 3rd fret. We do 3, 5, 6, 3, 5, 6, 3, 5. So A string 3, 5, 6, D string 3, 5, 6, G string 3, 5. So don't think of these scales as pieces that you're learning. Think of them as patterns. Okay, so you're not learning the C major scale. Because then you'd also have to go away and separately learn the G major scale or the A flat scale, okay? All you're learning is this, like that, okay? You're learning the hand pattern, so you can close your eyes and do it anywhere, okay? If I take this C major hand pattern, and then I play the same hand pattern starting from a D, I have a D major scale, okay? So whatever note you start the C major scale from, you get that scale. Same thing with a C minor scale. If I take that minor scale pattern, the 3, 5, 6, 3, 5, 6, 3, 5, and I do 9, 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, 9, 10, that would be an E minor scale, okay? Because I've started it on an E. So let's go back to talking about the major scale, okay? I already have videos on my channel discussing how to improvise under almost any song with literally what we just taught. But let's talk about other types of chord and other types of modes, because that's probably why you're watching this video. The major scale, I want you to play it again, and I want you to count to 8 as you play it, okay? Each note corresponding to a number. So look at your hand as you do it and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for example, the 4th note should be there, the 5th note should be there, the 7th note should be there, like that, okay? These are, oh, sorry, nearly died. These are called the degrees of the scale, okay? So the 1st degree of C major is obviously the 1st note. The 7th degree is obviously the 7th note. You get what I'm saying with this, right? Now, it's really important you know these for C major, because C major is what we compare everything else to, okay? So C major can actually be written down as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? There is another mode that you can play underneath major chords. It's called the Lydian mode. It has a sharp 4. So can you now try play for me a major scale with a sharp 4? So we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sharp just means 1 fret higher than usual, okay? So when we get to that 4th note, which is usually on D3, we're actually going to play it on D4. So if a guitarist is playing like a C major chord, like this, underneath it you can play so something like that from C Ionian, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or you can play something from C Lydian, so like that, okay? The Simpsons theme is written in Lydian, so it might sound a bit familiar for that reason, okay? But again, this mode still works underneath major chords. So for major chords, which are made of 1, 3, and 5, the modes which work underneath them are Lydian and Ionian, okay? That'll be on the screen somewhere over here now. So what if somebody's not playing a major or minor chord? Well, the other type of chord we need to talk about before we go further is a dominant 7 chord. Now, a dominant 7 chord has the 1, 3, and 5 from a major chord, but it has a flat 7 like a minor chord does. So if you play for me now a Mixolydian mode, now I'll make this a lot simpler. It's a major scale with a flat 7. So everybody knows a major scale. All you're going to do is take that 7th note and make it 1 fret down, 1 fret lower than it normally is. Okay, so it goes from the C, it goes from the 4th fret on the G string to the 3rd fret. And you can do some really nice improvisations with this. So you might have heard the like the 12-bar blues before, where you can see how we're literally just going 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 6 in a Mixolydian mode, okay? All we do is we go up and we don't play the 7 in the normal position, we play it 1 fret lower. And that creates a real tension because, you know, the brain is kind of expecting it to either be a major or a minor sound, but it's actually this weird combination of both. And these chords often are used before a chord progression resolves back to whatever key the song's in. So for example, you see it a lot, if a song is in E minor, a lot of the time you'll see it on B, so it would go like, can you hear how that sounds, how it sounds really nice and it sort of comes back? I don't know, maybe that's just me, but you can hear how a dominant 7 chord creates tension, which is then resolved by going back to whatever key the song's in. Anyway, waffle, that's more like a songwriting thing. So far we have 2 different patterns you can use when playing underneath a major chord. So for example, underneath C major, you can use Lydian or Ionian. And then underneath a dominant 7 chord, you need to improvise in Mixolydian. So literally, if it's a dominant 7, you go to A, you play a Mixolydian mode, and then you can improvise around that pattern, okay? The next 3 modes are all patterns that you can use underneath a minor chord, because all 3 of these modes have a normal 1, a flat 3, and a normal 5, okay? So let's give this a try now. The first one is Dorian, and if you love funk, this is a super funky mode, okay? The Dorian mode is a major scale with a flat 3, okay? So all we do is we go... Now, this might be a bit harder for some people to play because it actually goes across 5 frets, so you're going to have to move your hand a bit more than for all the other modes, but you go 1, 5, 6, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5, okay? It sounds really funky when you play around with the natural 6 and the flat 7 going back to the root note. So for example, one of my favourite Red Hot Chili Peppers songs is literally just the Dorian mode. It's called Funky Monks, and it goes... And literally all he's doing there is this sound here, the flat 6, no, I'm lying to you, the flat 7 and the natural 6 sound so funky together, again, because it creates that tension, which is then immediately resolved by going back to the root note. So you can play around with that anyway. If you want to do that, again, on C, as we have been doing, all you'd do is you'd go to the 2nd fret of the G string, which is the natural 6, and then hammer on kind of to the 3rd fret of the G, which is the flat 7, so... Something like that. Sounds vaguely funky, right? And I'm not even putting any effort in, really. The next mode on the chart of modes we're going through, you'll be pleased to know, is just the minor scale, okay? So if you remember the minor scale from earlier, this is a very classic mode. I always default to playing, you know, a minor scale, an Aeolian mode, underneath a minor chord. So I think a lot of people say that it sounds quite sad to have minor chords, but I think it sounds very serious, actually. One of my favourite things to do when I'm improvising in this pattern is these 2 notes here. So let's say I'm doing this on C minor just for simplicity. So the 2nd note going to the 3rd note and the 5th note going to the 6th note sound really good when you hammer them on and then go back to the root note. So if we go like something like that, you know, like when I was doing if I wanted to improvise in E minor, it'd be the same thing. Like a pattern like that can often sound quite nice. I'm not going to spend too much time on the minor scale or Aeolian mode because we already know it, okay? The next one is Phrygian, super common in metal music. So this has got a flat 2. Can you just play for me a minor scale with a flat 2 and just listen to how dark it sounds? It sounds like this. And just listen to that flat 2. What an amazing sound, okay? Now, what we can do, now we have the Dorian mode, the Aeolian mode, and the Phrygian mode, we can actually go, let's say I want to play in C minor, okay? I can start in Dorian, shift to Aeolian, finish in Phrygian, and just because each one of you, you know, when you add a flat to a scale, it makes it sound darker. So let's say you're a bassist and you're like building up to a chorus in a metal song, for example, and it's just chugging away on C minor, right? You could start in Dorian, move to Aeolian, finish in Phrygian, and it creates 3 completely different sounds. No one else in the band has to do anything differently. You can just keep playing with these modes and completely change how the song sounds. Now there's one more mode. Whispers in the shadows are spoken of this very scary mode. It's not scary because it's hard, it's scary because it sounds like ass. It's called the Locrian mode. This does something very, very perverse, very disgusting in music, and it has a flat 5. Now, almost every other type of chord keeps a natural 5 because it creates a real sense of stability. Like, for example, you know, a lot of guitarists just use power chords, right? And a power chord is just like a 1 and a 5. Sounds really nice. By having a flat 5, it basically sounds like this. That's the same chord progression, except instead of playing a normal 5, I'm playing a flat 5. The mode, as you can expect, is 1, flat 2, flat 3, natural 4, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7, okay? Basically, think of it like a minor scale with a flat 2 and a flat 5, okay? So you're kind of shifting those 2 notes closer to the head of the guitar, okay? We go. I'm gonna level with you. I'm not good enough at music to have ever used a diminished chord. It's mainly like a jazz thing, I guess, like Mac DeMarco uses them sometimes. He's like the most mainstream person who probably does. Not for me. But now, with these 7 modes, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, with these 7 modes, you have the means to play underneath any different type of chord, which is really useful. You're not just limited to major and minor chords anymore. You can use dominant 7 chords, diminished chords, and also major 7 and minor 7 chords are the exact same as major and minor. So, you know, all you have to do is make sure that when you're improvising with them, you actually do go all the way to the top, if that makes sense. Like, you know, a songwriter has chosen to use a major 7 chord rather than a major chord, so you may as well accentuate that fully. So instead of just like a normal minor chord, which would be, they've chosen to go. So you need to make sure that you like actually go all the way up to that unique note they've changed and then play it. Okay, thanks for watching. This is arguably my worst tutorial. It's certainly the least organised, but I hope this just answers that one subscriber's question. If it helps anyone else, that's just a bonus. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself.